Hey everybody, we are back in town. Live stream again, Thursday. Time flies, isn't it? Okay. So nice bass. I did a little bit of octave. So normally it would be like this. Or that's a bit low. So to play the bass in this area, I need to octave up the thing. Yeah, let's see if we have some people in the chat room. I don't know. I need to look because my screen is filled with all kind of music stuff. Let's see if everything is working. Yes, we are here. And yeah, I see Kafa, you are there. David, thank you for your idea. The idea today. Okay, let's see if the keyboard, if I can get that better. This is the normal range, but if I want to play the bass, I can play it with the left or the right hand side. And if I want to play it in the right hand side, I either need to move to the left or I need to move the keyboard up here. So that's what I was doing. So we had a very interesting idea from David about creating a funky bass, which is a typical Minimoog type of bass sound, which came essentially from the Minimoog. And especially if you hear this typical glide thing, so this. Of course, it depends on your key in which you play. Well, the idea came from David, and I recorded very shortly one part, which is from Bruno Mars. This record, you can, I placed a link in the info section. So in the info section of this YouTube video, there's a link to this video, which David did send me, which has this typical bass with a track of Bruno Mars. I cannot play it long, otherwise I get another copyright strike, and that's of course not a good thing. So so let's play a few seconds. This guy in this video is playing it on a Moog little fatty, and you get these kind of things. And you heard this little glide. So it's this idea which David said, yeah, Rob, what can we do to get this type of funky bass, Minimoog style bass sounds? Okay, so I wrote down, you see, I wrote down a few things, a little paper. And of course, you start with the right preset. The basic preset should be already good. So we have in SubBoomBass-2, we go to the manager. You see bass presets. That's many of the classic bass presets. And you see here, I use this one, Classic Way of 4 is a very dry bass. And what is important is the first thing. So the first thing is timing. Because if you play a groove, you have you can have a bass, which also could be like this with a longer amp release. And then it's a little bit different, and you hear that? Whoop whoop. Oops, that's the wrong key. You have a little bit of a. So this preset essentially is for playing this type of groove, because sometimes if you watch this video, this guy plays also very short notes. So we need to keep a short release so that we have, so that you can make these. So if I have put that with a little beat, let's see if I have the groove today. now would make the release too long, then you would have this. And then it's a whole different rhythm. So that's one of the first things you need to watch out for, is that the amp envelope is nice. So we have, if you have a long note, it has a long decay. And if you have a short note, so if you let go the note, let go, then it has a short release. Then, of course, this is a bass preset. You can adjust things to your needs. You can say, okay, this bass could be a little bit darker, but that we will do on a later point. So that's the first point, is that you need to have the right setting in the amp envelope. So take a long decay. Sustain can be 0, that's not a problem. And a short release. So then the second one is that the bass should be in this legato mode. What is the legato mode? Which you can find here, the play mode, legato. Legato is that if you play legato, it doesn't re-trigger the envelopes. If I would have mono, so now I go to mono. Hear that? The envelopes, these filter envelopes and amp envelopes, start to re-trigger. So they start again on the attack stage. So now I use legato. Here we have legato. So you see, it doesn't re-trigger the envelopes. Only when I let go fully all the notes, it will re-trigger. And this one is very important for this legato effect, what I did on the keyboard. So let's try that again. So this legato thing. When I do this now with mono mode, you get this, which is of course incorrect. Yeah, you see, that's a whole different story. So this legato mode is very important. So that is point 2. Of course, you have also polyphonic mode. That is the same thing. You need to have this legato mode. Well, these are 2 envelopes, the one on volume, but also the one in the filter. And if I would not use that one, the legato will be a bit less effective. So if I shut down the envelope, it doesn't re-trigger the volume envelope, but it's just this FX with the filter envelope that makes it so cool, because the filter goes down. Hear that? Meow, meow. And if you then, it stays in this dark thing. So that's important. So then it's the next thing. I will go deeper into this a bit later on. The next thing you need to do, of course, is what would you do with, for instance, the modulation wheel. Modulation wheel is this little wheel. Now in this case, the modulation wheel, it's set to 0. You could use that one for adding vibrato. It's very minimal, so I can, let's see, open it a bit more. You hear that? So that adds the vibrato. That's the guy doing in this video, adds the vibrato. Of course, his sound is a bit different than mine, so I'm tweaking a little. So that's important. But of course, the vibrato, the modulation wheel, you could also say, don't control the vibrato, which is down here. Pitch LFO, this controls the vibrato amount. Hear that? Or aftertouch. Aftertouch, if I press it harder. And that's a cool thing. Here in our set, you can combine modulation wheel with aftertouch. You combine both. So that's for adding vibrato. If you don't want to have that, if you want to use the modulation wheel for something else, this could be, for instance, so I go double click, I put this to 0 so it doesn't, so by the way, negative amount is also possible. That's strange that it is possible here, but it doesn't matter. So it means that you can go negative if the modulation mount is open. And you go negative amount control, the modulation, the vibrato will be gone. You see, modulation wheel open, less vibrato. So you also can do it the other way around, adding less vibrato. So the pitch envelope here, this is the amount, is the initial modulation. So that has no amount control. So that's really the basic vibrato. So it's not controlled, it's just the basic vibrato. So I can shut it down. And I could say then use the modulation wheel for opening up the filter, which is here inside the filter section. You can see can positive. So I open the filter. But that depends on your thing you want to do. So that also could be a cool thing. So maybe give it a try. So that's up to you what you do with this modulation wheel. So check that one. In the video, he uses the modulation wheel to add some vibrato. So you can go either way with SubBoomBass-2. Yeah, then I wrote down the third thing is the pitch band, which is very important because you can use the pitch band also to create your own kind of vibrato. You need to be fast. And you see here, down here, we have graphics of the pitch band. Now here you can set the range, which is cool. This one is on 2 semi. I personally mostly use 3 semi. It's a personal thing. So this is nice for making your personal falls down. So okay, we have them. So that's cool with pitch band, and it's your personal setting and how what you will do. Some 2 semi can be interesting, for instance, because then you go 1 note up, so you could. So that's what used a few weeks ago. Maybe you recall this Imagination song. Then you need a 2 semi for having a 1 note. So, and the cool thing is, if you have this setting here, it is saved within each preset. So you can really make personalize your preset. So let's try this with 2 semi, with this little groove I made. Nice snare, isn't it? Very short. And of course you make it also even an octave down, so even more. You see down here, you can go really down. So you see, that is also possible. Yeah, so let's play that in the groove. Oh, in between. So yeah, all kind of creative things you can do with pitch band and the modulation wheel. So yeah, I have the major points. So I will make some timestamps in this video once it's ready. So if you maybe a bit later on, or you see this video a bit on a different time, so I will make then these timestamps which does say bass preset, pick the bass preset, watch the timing, decay, release, mode, legato, mod wheel, pitch bend. So I will add some timestamps. And of course, what you also can do is maybe the sound is almost there, but that you can use, for instance, here the filter and the filter envelope and the filter amount for adjusting the sound. So let's go to this next phase and let's trigger a little bit. So you notice what happens here? The bass, the envelope amount, so this envelope, attack, decay, sustain, and release, modulates the cutoff frequency. And it was pretty sharp. And this bass, of course, in your mix is very prominent, maybe too prominent. Maybe you want to say, okay, less obvious. So then you go down with the filter envelope amount or with the cutoff frequency. It's still 1 octave, might be a bit too much. You see, all kind of things are possible. I'm not sure if I did mute and unmute on the correct way, but I think you can hear me. So by changing the cutoff frequency, the envelope amount, you already can shape the sound so that it fits nicer in your music program. Not only change the cutoff frequency, because that's what people tend to do only because they know this one, but also change the envelope amount, how strong the envelope works. And then of course there's also the envelope settings. In decay, longer decay, the decay goes down to sustain, goes down very much, or it stays a bit higher. That's why they call it sustain. The sustain is where the cutoff frequency sustains once you hold the note. Higher point or a lower point. And you see, this longer decay is also makes it a lot of different. And of course, we have also the Q, the resonance, which are pretty much in funky basses. They use pretty much the resonance or the Q. You see the decay, how much influence it has. Okay, my timing is not precise, but you get my point. So if you have a preset which is close to what you're thinking, then you can tweak it with cutoff frequency, envelope amount, and these settings here, especially with decay and sustain. Okay, so this is a little bit about the SubBoomBass-2 and using this Moog-style bass sound. And yeah, the central part of it is of course the play mode, which should be legato. And of course, if you fly over this keyboard, it depends on your scale also. If you have, of course, if you play on this, okay, that's a bit harder. So this one F, even if you, because This is the F scale. And it doesn't matter then if you are having essentially notes which are not in this key, but because it glides down in a chromatic way, it's simply cool. So I hope you can follow me a little bit, because I was talking and did not check the chat room. So let's see if everybody is still okay and alive in the chat room. Oh, okay. Okay, now you can see the chat room. Hello, gang. Oh, a lot of writing. So yeah, I was doing my thing, but still, it's that's important to show it. So let's see if I missed something. Okay. Yeah, the presets from SubBoomBass-2, they are in Manager. Now, this is the classic bass 4, which I was tweaking. There are some other presets which are also nice. So I think I gave here some A star. Oh no, that's another one. It's more this singularity, which has a 7th. And then of course you see the modulation wheel really has a... Let's see how this one works. These are basic presets inside the current version. Yeah, cool, isn't it nice? It has a little bit of distortion. Okay. So these are any bass presets. And of course, yeah, tweak also yourself. And you see this one I use. It's now a little bit different. And you see, if you open the cue, it seems to lose a little bit of low end, but that's doesn't lose low end, but the mid range is different. And if something is louder, the rest is softer. And you see it's a dry bass, no chorus, nothing. It's really dry as a original mini Moog bass. Okay, play synth bass, okay. Oh yeah, there's a lot of text. Hey, Tom, yeah, Tom, the funk is spreading. Definitely. Yeah, David also had a question about delay and vocal delays and reverb on, and he sent me 2 YouTube tracks. But if I'm gonna dive into that one, I for sure get a strike of playing music, which is then not allowed. The brass step, that's from BIT. So I thought, let's do a little background music. So we have, let me show you what we have active here. Ooh. So this is what I did just ahead of the live stream. That's Punch 2. By the way, the Punch update will be in July, but we will have some new samples, some very cool stuff, but it will be after my holiday. We don't get it done before my holiday. It's too much work. We have a much better system in MIDI file extraction. I will talk about it in before my holiday and show you a few things. But this is Punch 2, and it's very, very cool. You see the bass drum is a little bit distorted, and I loved. So that's a kit from Jamal, but I tuned the snare. I did something with the snare. Maybe I should save this one because it's a nice one. This is a Punch 69. Yeah, it's a nice one. I should save it. So that's what you hear, and then I added a sequence from Quad, which is a audition preset. It's this one. interesting sound. I hear, you can hear an organ inside of it. Listen. I think it's the case that the quad has an organ player inside, and it's killed by the distortion. So that's one of the other sequence. Then I have Bluetooth doing. Yeah, and what it is typically, because this one also had FX, but I've shut it off as in phaser. So if I put on, you see bypass delay. So sometimes you need to put things off to make it fit. Otherwise it gets too, okay, so. Yeah, and then we have BIT. Come on, baby, where are you? Here it is. It's Brass 1982. So this brass sound is 29 years old. So we go back in time with this brass sound. This is really a typical. Nice reverb, isn't it? This is a, in 1982, this would be maybe was a nice plate, you know. In the 1982, there were no digital reverbs. There was one little fruit machine that came out, I think, around, but they used plates, which were metallic plates. They put speakers inside of it and a membran to catch it up, like a kind of microphone, a membran thing. And that's how they created this this reverb thing. So this is a brass sound, Brass 1982 from BIT. So it's a really nice tabby 80s. I think I would consider it a kind of brass sound I would create with my Jupiter 8, that kind of thing. Okay, Disco Brass, yeah, that's also a good name. Yeah, and we're working on the Vecto. That's also a nice sound, by the way. It's also nice. It's a tribute Synthos. That's the new and one of the new presets. And you see here in this one, it's the next update which we are gonna do is Vecto, which has then new filter types. It has the granular stuff, and yeah, and then there's so much still inside of it with the normal stuff. You hear this one? This is oscillator 4, and you think, huh? What is this? And if you play it together with the other stuff, it suddenly makes sense. If I put it off, it's really a little. So this one is a nice, and also here the. So, but that's work in progress. The release date is planned for the 8th of June. So next month, early next month, Thursday, 8th of June, we have a new release, a free update for Vecto with new presets and some cool new features. We will have then in the Bank Manager also this order by date, so you can locate the new presets. This is also a new one. Sounds a bit the same, but it's weird sound inside of it. So yeah, we are very busy. There are some new ambient sounds because this is a great sound factor for this typical. It has this 90s vibe of like the D50 or Waystation feel to it. Of course, there are totally different sounds, but it has this vibe to it. And for instance, the choirs are so cool. This is a very nice choir sound combined with a synth. Oh no, this is only choir. No, and then it's this one, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Oh, I hit a wrong note. Sorry for that. So there's also one of the new sounds, and also this slow synth cry. It's nice for people who create ambient music. It's really a great synth for that. Okay, so that's in progress, but next week I most likely can show you a bit more presets for the new range of Vecto presets. Of course, some people ask if the update also would be for the rack extension. Yeah, we need to see if this granular is possible with the features. So that's currently a question, but we look into it, of course, so that we also update the Vecto rack extension. Yeah, I think this. Okay. This is the one. Ain't that cool? This one is called Slow Vecto Pet Choir. So I'm definitely sure you're going to enjoy that one once we release this update. There's a question about SubBoomBass and, oh no, let me see. That was first another one about Pulse Bass from, I created sound for the Waldorf Pulse Plus. Yeah, Waldorf Pulse in your bass plugin. Well, essentially, John Thompson is asking this, but essentially you will find my style of programming inside of it. So the kind of basses I create in SubBoomBass-2, the style you will find back. I mean, these, just like this one, you will find it also in the Pulse Plus. Of this, the so these kind of, yeah, it's so much more inside of it. It's yeah, the advantages, of course, if you use a plugin, it's easy with creating songs and hardware. It's cool, but you always need to record it. That's the disadvantage. But it's up to everybody, it's workflow. But there are plenty type of sounds in SubBoomBass-2 on the subject. So you will definitely recognize my style of programming. Okay, there was another question. because we were talking about the slide. Yeah, your keyboard is important, and what do you use? Which, yeah, it depends. Everybody does. I simply use the index finger. Ah, you hear my keyboard ranking, yeah. Essentially, this is the classic Way 13. This one fits straight away in this little beat I had. You see, also short release. So, and that's also a thing what they do often, which I also do, is if you play a groove and you use two hands, then you can do these little in-between notes. So like this. Okay, forgive me if I'm not really good in the timing, because it's not so easy to play straight. That was not bad, but you see. So now, so these. It depends on your groove and tempo. So. Oh yeah, that's a good thing about the Portamento. You see, if Portamento is hold time, which means again legato. Now you don't hear Portamento. Only when I play legato, I will increase it a little bit. Here's the Portamento. So if I don't... And this is also something cool you can use in making a groove too. So if you play... You see, now just... Okay... Again, so we have Portamento, hold time, I increased it. If I play staccato, there is no Portamento. When I play legato, it kicks in. And that's also something you can use instead of using the pitch bend. So let's play it again. And then I shut my microphone so you don't hear my clacking of the keyboard. Another tip what I can give you, if you have a bass, do the velocity on the volume less. Because otherwise, if you have a lot of velocity on the volume, you get this. That's not a steady bass. So that's also a little trick, which is also in my book. This little trick, the book about subtractive synthesis. But on the filter, of course, there you can have a little bit of velocity. And also here you need your own taste. If you also, because the Minimoog didn't have any velocity, so you could for really a Minimoog bass, you should have the velocity to 0. Yeah, what I do with the pitch bend, that's something you need to, I don't know if you need to practice. I always did it. Or use the aftertouch or modulation wheel. Nice. This is a sweet bass. This is the classic Wave 13 inside SubBoomBass-2 bass preset bank number 1. Cool bass, isn't it? Okay, so I'm checking now the chat room. Yeah, and the difference between constant time and hold time. So constant time is then it's always having pitch bend. Constant time, so it always. You hear that? And then with hold time. You can do some cool things with that just by, and I would say the modulation wheel on the filter. Okay, we're here. So in the play modes, there are really cool things. So that's the difference in Portamento. Constant rate means that the timing is constantly has a certain rate. So a certain, yeah, how you call it? So let me see if you can hear it. Okay, let's make. This is rate, and this is constant time. Sounds the same, but if I play then last note, it still has the same time. So with rate, it depends on the distance between the note. With time, you always have the same portamento. So if I got rate, you see with rate, it means that if I play an octave, the glide is bigger than if I play only a few notes. That's the difference between rate and time. And mostly is, I think, time. Depends on your personal taste, of course, but time, then you always have the same amount of glide, even if you go only one note higher. That's from John Evangelist. State of Independence. Oh, I should not play this. Otherwise I get another strike by YouTube because I played music which is copy protected. Yeah, cool guys. Yeah, so this is about today. We had the SubBoomBass-2 thing about the funky basses, and of course, Dave, thanks for this idea. It's a cool idea, and of course, it's hopefully you can learn something from it, and don't be afraid to add it. So, okay, I'm checking the chat room if there's anything I missed. I don't think so. Donna Summer. Yeah, that was Donna Summer. Nice. So yeah, and another cool thing is that we had, of course, another song, and that's very nice. Let's see if I can show you the text. So hopefully that will work out. Where is it? Stream. Here we go. We have, of course, at the end of the stream, we will have a nice song, but we have more because we can read here from Wayne Jedilaw Jones. He did send a demo song, which is on SoundCloud, so I will open that one. And he wrote probably most distinguished blues songs, since the lead is that blue tar patch I love so much. Blue tar. Okay, we could maybe play it. The drums are in the Ableton rack. Everything else is blue. Again, thanks for your due. Tremendous value for money. Keep up the excellence. Of course, my pleasure or pleasure as team to make you happy in creating music. So let's see if I can arrange this. Need to copy this one and then. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna play this one and listen to it. Yeah, sorry guys, it went a little bit loud. And so I'm not sure. I could bring down the volume a bit in the stream software. 1 second. So I
feel like I'm exactly where I need to be in life right now. Get in my zone real quick. Get in my element. Shit feels great. It's a whole different vibe.
good one. Now I hit all kind of the that was autoplay in YouTube. Okay, that's messy. So yeah, the song, I need to put a little bit the volume up here. 1 second. So in OBS, which I use for streaming, I adjusted the volume, but it was a bit distorted on my headphones. Hopefully not too much on yours. Very nice song, Don. It's when I listen to it, it makes me think about a soundtrack from a movie with all kind of zombies, you know. So very cool. Wayne Jedilaw Jones, and yeah, strange. This SoundCloud doesn't have a volume. I was looking for the volume. Yeah, it's strange. It doesn't have a volume feature. But cool. Yeah, if it was too distorted, maybe we can run it again next week, because it's a very nice song. And yeah, hurry, Rob. Yeah, indeed. I mean, hopefully I don't get a strike, because YouTube. Oh no, not YouTube. It went on SoundCloud. I think that played the next one. So yeah, sorry for that mess. Okay, so let's go back to the chat room. Yeah, a question about a Blue 3. Blue 3 will be next year. That's gonna be a big project. This year we don't get it, because first we will release this new FX and Predator 3 at the September, October. That's the plan. So we're very busy. Blue 3 will be a big project, because we want to do some very cool things. We have 6 oscillators, and of course, as it is very cool. But I have some very good ideas for Blue 3. So some people ask to have also the option to be able to load your own samples, and that's interesting, of course. But then we need to have an additional page. As you see in this one, I use the in this little demo, I use the guitar type of sound, which is essentially not a guitar. It's a pure synthesis, because you see the algorithm here, A and B modulate C, which creates this guitar type of sound. So if I put off A and B, you only hear a sinus. Okay, let's mute a little bit of the rest. Okay. Brass, shut down, you shut down. You hear? Now I activate oscillator B, which modulates C and A. So it sounds a bit like a muted guitar, but it's FM synthesis. And of course, in the FX, we use a phaser, the analog phaser. Delay. With dry was better. So combined with the other sound, which was quad, we had a nice background for playing this. That was the theme of today. Going funky, like Tom Aldrich always goes funky. Making these funky basses. Okay, that was not so good one. Yeah, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed it. This live stream. We go out today again with a lovely new song by Tom Aldrich, funky Tom Aldrich, and this is what Tom does say about his demo. Hey, hello, Rob. Sometimes less is more exercise. Sometimes less is more exercise. Yeah. Using punch filter to chill the drums. Aha, Delsane on the guitar and drums. Enjoy, Tom. Yeah, Tom, we are very curious. So we're going to play that one as the last one. We go out with Tom Aldrich. Yeah, if you missed this live stream, you always can watch it back in the playlist. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can select the playlist, live streams, and then you can watch it back. I will put in timestamps so that you can see the different points which I discuss about SubBoomBass-2 and creating this funky bass, mini Moog style bass sound. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. If you like it, thumbs up. And yeah, I hope to see you next week. Next week, I hope to show you a bit more new presets for Vecto, the update planned for in June. I would say stay safe and enjoy creating music. Also, Wayne, thanks for this very nice track. Really would suit nice in a Netflix film. And yeah, I hope you have a good time and see you next week, guys. And here comes Tom. Lo-fi chilling.